Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Prabhupada Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki Jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Mahapurana ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapat Kamlam Shri Gurana Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sakshatam Sahagan Raghunatvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitavascha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sata Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bhaksha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hi Krishna. So I welcome you for the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam session in the morning. It's Canto 8, Chapter 12 and Text 25. So please repeat after me. First we'll do the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naramachaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswati Vyasan Tato Jaymudirate. So just repeat after me the verse, that is text 25. Taya aphrita vijnanans Tatkrita samara vilvihalva Bhayana api pashyantaya Gataharistat padam yayu Taya Bhrita Vijnanans Tatkrita Samra Vivahala Bhavaneyaya Pi Pashyantaya Gata Haris Tatpadam Yayu Taya Bhrita Vijnanans Tatkrita Samara Vihavalva Bhavanaya Pi Pashyantaya Gata Haris Tatpadam Yayo. Prabhuji's. Mataji's. So repeat after me. The word meanings, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Taya, by her. Apharita, taken away. Vijnanana, good sense. Tatkrita, done by her. Smara, by the smiling. Vihavala, having become mad for her. Bhavanaya, while Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, Api, although Pashyanta, was seeing all these incidents, Gata Hare, bereft of all the shame, Tatpadam, to the place where she was situated, Yayayu, went. So it's a very intricate topic going on, and it's a very topic that has to be understood with a lot of intelligence. So, as I believe there is no purport to this, so we move to a shloka where the purport is, and then we come back to all the discussion. So we have a purport to many of the shlokas, there is no purport Srila Prabhupada gave, and we go to the text 33 where there is a purport. So I will just repeat the translation of shloka 33. O King, you can all repeat after me. O King, wheresoever on the surface of the globe fell the semen of the great personality of Lord Shiva, mines of gold and silver later appeared. So here the Prabhupada says, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that those who seek gold and silver can worship Lord Shiva for material opulences. Lord Shiva lives under a bale tree and does not even construct a house in which to dwell. But although he is apparently poverty-stricken, his devotees are sometimes opulently endowed with great quantities of silver and gold. Parikshit Maharaj later asks about this, and Shukdev Goswami replies. So we see here the purport that's going, the context that's going on. It's being, who is speaking it? Shri Shuka Uvacha, it's Shukdev Goswami speaking. And who is being referred here? Just we read the translation of the 25th verse that said, Lord Shiva, in his good sense, was taken away by the woman of lusty desires to enjoy with her, become so mad for her that even in the presence of Bhavani, he did not hesitate to approach her. So it is clearly here that who is her, that woman? That woman is none the less but Krishna himself, who has come in the form of Mohini. So second times he's taken the incarnation of Mohini. First was when he was distributing the nectar to the demigods. Because demons had got the pot, and now to lure the demons, he actually took the form of Mohini. The most beautiful, Krishna is actually all attractive in his male form as well. So how attractive he would be in a female form, one can really imagine. And he is actually the divine personality himself, so the way he can lure anybody, it's unimaginable. So here, even the Mahadev, Devonkadev Mahadev, that's Lord Shiva. He gets lured by the Mohini form. He comes all the way when he hears that he took a Mohini form, and thus he got all the nectar for the demigods, how he took the nectar away from the demons. So he was so much captivated by that thought only, that how Krishna would look in that divine form. And he wanted to come over and see him. And look at his request. When he comes and he requests to Krishna, and Krishna actually, he agrees to come in that form before him. It's very difficult to get Krishna to go and see him, take darshan, even for the demigods. It's not easy. We remember the stories when Shiva asked for a darshan, and Krishna said, okay, in the Dwapar Yuga, when I come in Gokul, I'll give you darshan. And here he is actually coming into a form which he is desiring. Demigod, it's the demigod of the demigods, that is Shiva Tattva, is different to the demigods. Still, demigods did not get lure. When Mohini form came up, the demigods did not get lure. When he appeared in that form, the demons got lured. And then he went to the demons, he took the pot from them and gave it to they were so hypnotized with the Mohini form that they agreed, they said, we agree to they did not object to him giving the nectar to the demigods even. He did not get, actually, the demons got agitated and the demigods did not get agitated. But now, beyond the demigods is Shivji. And Shivji has specially come all the way to see that beautiful form. And Krishna agrees to appear in that form. And he appears before him. And now Shivji is totally taken. He is taken away, carried away by that form. In the previous shloka you read, thus Lord Shiva saw the woman, every part of whose body was beautifully formed, and beautiful woman who looked at him. Therefore, thinking that she was attracted to him, Lord Shiva became very much attracted to her. And the coming verses we see he started following him. And Krishna knew how to bewilder him, how to bewitch. He knows everything. He knows all the art. Everything is coming from him. He's the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabho, he clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita that everything comes from me. Even the lusty desires. Whereas Shivji, if we remember in the previous pages you must have gone through, where when Cupid came to lure Shivji, he burnt him to ashes. He burned him to ashes. But here, when Krishna appears in the form of Mohini, he is running after the sweet Lord. He's running after Krishna, the beautiful form of Mohini. And when in the next verses, if you'll read, you will find that how Krishna really enticed him. And he was carried away, and she became extremely bashful, and that she is actually Krishna, it's he. And thus she kept smiling, but she hid herself among the trees. So that is all the acts what a beautiful woman would do to lure, And Prabhupada clearly mentions ahead that lusty desires can overpower anyone. So one has to be, this is just an example set for us. This is a playful, actually, Leela going on. Krishna, Shivji knows it's Krishna, and then also he's carried away. And he's not ashamed of it. Later when he comes to know, he comes back to his senses, and he is there, that is Krishna. He comes back to his senses and he knows that was Krishna only, who had lured him and who had actually embraced him, hugged him in the form of a woman. He, with his all humility, he does not feel bad. He does not get annoyed. That's his humility. Demigods had everything to lose in the world if they had got, at that moment get carried away by Mohini Murat. Because they never want to part away with their, whatever they are enjoying, they don't want to part away with that. But Shivji has nothing to lose. That's why in this shloka, in the purport of the 33, we read, Prabhupada tells, oh, he lives under the bael tree. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is quoting him here, that he doesn't construct a house for himself. He lives under a tree. He is so renounced. He's totally renounced. When he lost Sati, he went into deep meditation. He was so much in grief. He was totally in meditation engrossed. And then the demigods were worried that how the demon Tarkasur would be killed. And they agreed, because he had to be killed only by Shivji's son. And now, how will he get a son? His wife is no more. So Parvati has appeared now. Sati has taken the form of Parvati and she is reappeared. And they wanted him to get that love for Parvati now. But he was in deep meditation. And that is why the Cupid, Kamadev, was sent. And he did not get lured by Kamdev. Kamdev can lure anyone. It's so powerful. He's the demigod of the lusty desires. But now Shivji, who could bewilder Shivji? Only Krishna could bewilder Shivji. That was the divine lust. That is how Shivji got attracted to the Mohini Murat. And here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, those who seek gold and silver can worship Lord Shiva for material opulences. Why do people go to Durga and Shivji? For material opulences. They want all the material happiness in this world. They are actually greedy for material things. So they all go there. And this is how Shivji bestows them with all the opulence. Whereas he doesn't want anything. So why would he go after a woman and have lusty desires? This Leela is being, again, with the intention that is for us to understand that even if we are in a very great position, the greater the position you have in Krishna consciousness, greater will the test for you. It can't be a small test. Shivji is in a greatest position. He's the Param Vaishnava. And he's put to a greatest test by whom? By the Supreme Lord himself. So Maya is Krishna's. Krishna says, Maya is mine. This is divine Maya he's playing with. And here he takes such a form, and when you will read, and imagine who is speaking all this. A Param Brahmachari, a celibate, that is Shukdev Goswami. He's talking about all that, how Krishna is embracing Shivji and how this Leela is going on. Even Shivji did not take care of Bhavani, who is present with her. He's totally engrossed and carried away by that beautiful woman. He's just running after her. And he forgot everything, that his wife is there, he became mad. And for her, that even in the presence of Bhavani, he did not hesitate to approach her. So his senses being agitated, Lord Shiva, victimized by lusty desires, began to follow her, just as a lusty elephant follows a she-elephant. So sometimes you would say, oh, how degrading it is. And who is actually narrating this? A celibate. A brahmachari is narrating all these leelas, these pastime of Shivji and Krishna. And sometimes the people in the outside world, they actually rebuke this. They come out with this theory, oh, the Bhagavatam even contains all this, where their gods, they get carried away. So this is how the Leela has to be understood. those who are not devotees, they cannot understand. That's why the principle has been laid down very well in the Bhagavad Gita. That if you are not a devotee of a Lord, you will not understand a word of these scriptures. These scriptures are actually very confidential, very mysterious. Only by the blessings, by the mercy, one can go into the depth of these scriptures. Otherwise, it's extremely difficult to understand them. For a common layman, he will just find this as a simply novel-like of thing, or he would go like, oh, even Shivji is after a woman, he's running after a woman, and she is enticing him. And it is there that they both are embracing each other. And imagine, and this Shukdev Goswami, a Param Vaishnava again, and a celibate, he's speaking all about this. So how come a brahmachari narrates all these lusty desires and he's talking about them? But then we understand that this is actually not the scenario. It's Krishna's Maya is at work. He is enticing Shivji. He's putting him into a greater test. He doesn't need to go through a test. He's already so renounced. But then again, it is for us to understand. This pastime was done for us. Even if we become a sannyasi, we go to the level of the highest devotee, pure devotee even, all the time we have to be very careful. Prabhupada talks in the other purports, he will talk about it, that even a handsome man can carry away a woman and a woman can get carried away by a handsome man and a vice versa. So it is not that even you can be put to test and your lusty desires can play havoc on you. They can degrade you. But if you are detached, that is what Shivji is. Immediately he was detached. He could withdraw his senses. He did not get annoyed with Vishnu that, why did you play a joke upon me? Why did you do this to me? So in a normal circumstance, a person would say, oh, why this happened to me? Why was I put to test? I am a devotee of the Lord. I am a great devotee of the Lord. I chant every day. I listen to Bhagavatam. I go for the classes. I'm doing so much so. But then that shows that we are not renounced like Shivji. Shivji immediately accepted, and he not, with all humility, he did not take it as an insult. He accepted it. So it conveys that Maya does not act uniformly. Well, that's how we understand from this scenario even that the demigods were not lured, but Shivji got lured. Why? Because he was at a greater position. That's why he was given a greater test. And it makes him more relatable. It says, I was actually reading ahead from other lectures going through, and it says, his experience teaches us that the temporary setbacks on the spiritual path are natural. But what matters is how quickly one returns to awareness. Because when you will go ahead in this chapter, you will find Shivji, immediately when he came to know that this has happened with him, he came back to the same position. He glorified Vishnu again. He glorified Krishna. He glorified him all the more. So that is how we should be. We should take the temporary setbacks that come to our spiritual life, we should again go back, and when we are aware. When we get aware, we should immediately go back on the same track. That is why Srila Prabhupada said, in ISKCON, never is anybody going to leave ISKCON. When they come to ISKCON, if they commit any mistake even, they will be pardoned and they will be back. If they leave even, they will be back again. As soon as they get aware, they will be back. So that awareness is very important. We should understand that will happen. I've seen many examples in my life. I've been into this movement for the last 25 years, and I've seen so many devotees going away in their ego and then after a few years coming back again. Krishna puts them back on the track and they come back. So that happens, and that's what Shivji is exhibiting here. And Vishnu form the Mohini form is not an ordinary beauty, but it's the manifestation of Krishna's internal potency, Maya Shakti, which has the power to captivate the greatest beings. And because it's Krishna playing the role, so he can entice anybody. He has got all the power. What to say of Shivji even? And Shivji is glorifying Krishna. We know all the time he's a Param Vaishnava, he's glorifying Krishna. So Prabhupada here mentions that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says he doesn't construct a bale tree, he just has a bale tree, doesn't construct a house even. He lives under a tree. And he is actually, he himself is apparently poverty stricken. But he endows always opulences to his devotees. He is Ashutosh. He gets angry very fast, but he gets pleased also at the same speed. So if you please him, he can give you all the boons in this world. And that is how his disciples, devotees, they go to him. They want the opulence in this world. They are full of the greedy, their greed. Their greed is for the material world. His devotees are sometimes opulently endowed with large quantities of silver and gold. Parikshit Maharaj later asks about this, and Shukdev Goswami then again replies. So Shukdev Goswami, he is saying in the next verse, if you go, following Mohini, Lord Shiva went everywhere, near the shores of the rivers, lakes, near mountains, near forests, near gardens, and wherever there lived great sages. So he went everywhere following, and Krishna took him to all nook and corner of the universe. He took him everywhere, and Shivji is following him. So that is how, if we follow Krishna consciousness, we are actually on the right track. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Mohini Murti dragged Lord Shiva to so many places, especially to where the great sages lived, to instruct the sages that their Lord Shiva had become mad for a beautiful woman. He is an ascetic. He is a yogi himself. So that is why this was Leela done, to show to the sages even that you are not also safe. You are not protected in this material world. My Maya can work on you as well. Maya is very strong. We think, oh, Maya is, it cannot touch us. We are very safe. We are chanting everything. Yes, you are chanting. You are under the shelter of the spiritual master. You are very protected. But you should not, even for a second, you should not think that you can be on your own. You can never be on your own. You have always to be under the shelter of the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master. Not for a second you can say, oh, I am very protected. I am in such a position that now nobody can touch me. And there Maya enters in a subtle way. So that is how it is, this Leela actually exhibits a lot of things for us. We take it very casually. We take it just, oh, it is simply that it's a pastime going on where Mohini is attracting Shiva and Shivji is running after her, and then it's all done. So Shivji is also full of lusty desires. We declare that. It's not that. It's got a deeper meaning behind it. It's got a greater meaning. And actually, Shivji is a renunciate. The previous shloka, the Prabhupada clearly mentions he is actually full of renunciation. He's never had a house to live in. He's never had opulence for himself. He's so innocent that even the Bhasmasur, when he got a boon from him, and he's going to try it on the giver of the boon. He wants to try on him, and Shivji is running here and there. He cannot protect himself. He runs to, again, Krishna comes to the rescue. So this is Krishna. It's mercy of Krishna on him. And this is also a mercy of Krishna, where Krishna appears in he agrees to the form because he has come with so much love and respect, and he knows Shivji is the greatest devotee. And if you are a great devotee, of course that is there, Krishna will listen to you. If you are a pure devotee, Krishna listens to you. He agrees even to come in any form you are requesting. He appeared for Prahlad in the form of Narsingha. So that is Krishna. Krishna says, Bhaktya Mama Vijanati, only my devotees can know me. Nobody else has the power to know me. So whether you proclaim yourself, oh, I am a great devotee, unless you reach into the heart of Krishna, penetrate into the heart of Krishna, and he reciprocates with you, that makes you a pure devotee. So we always say, when the offenses to the holy name in the morning, we say what we want is Krishna Prema. So how do we get the Krishna Prema? Here Shivji is exhibiting that quality. He's got that Krishna Prema. That is why Krishna appears in a woman form before him, for him to actually enjoy with him. and he is enticing him, playing games with him. So that's a playful Leela going on with them. We cannot understand the relationship of Krishna with the pure devotees of the Lord. When Prabhupada came to the Western world, he said, I don't know, Krishna, what's your purpose behind taking me here? I leave everything to you. Wherever you will take me, I will go. Whatever you want me to do, I will do. I'm an instrument in your hands. So that's what a devotee is. He's an instrument in the hands of the spiritual master and Supreme Lord. And spiritual master is the most confidential servant of the Supreme Lord. So when we surrender to the instructions of the spiritual master, it's like surrendering to the Supreme Lord himself. So it's very important to understand that Shivji's position is much, much more greater than the demigods even, what to say of us. So how can he fall into the lusty desires of a common woman? It's actually the Supreme Lord himself who is enticing him, who is testing him. So if we are surrendered, we will pass through the test if we are surrendered to the instructions of our spiritual master. That's all we have to do. We have to follow the Vaidhi Bhakti. If we follow that, Krishna understands that you are because we are following the instructions of the spiritual master. And spiritual master, every day in the Guru Ashtakam we sing. And if we have faith in those words, actually the bhakti is all dependent on faith. If you don't have faith, that's what Rupa Goswami said, Ado Shraddha Tado Sadhusang Tada Bhajana Kriya Tata Anartha Nivriti. If you have faith, then what's going to happen? You will get into the association of devotees. If you don't have faith, why do we come to the association of devotees? We come to the association of devotees to make our faith strong. That is why association of devotees is important. If we do not make our faith strong, if we do not work on our faith, then the bhakti will not enhance, it won't advance. If we come to the association of devotees and stay in the association try to take the association of Uttamadhikaris, the pure devotees of the Lord, then you say the faster the advancement is. Because your faith will become stronger, and day by day it will become more strong. So the spiritual life depends on only one thing, faith. If you have little bit of faith, even Rupa Goswami says, you just come and you will get the association of devotees. Krishna will plan it, that you get the association of devotees. It's all Krishna's planning. Here also we can see, it's Krishna's planning. He could have refused Shivji that I have already been in the Mohini form, and that was for a purpose I did it. Why do I become again in the Mohini form? But he took the orders of his devotee. He took the orders. He loves to take orders from his devotees. His only love is shown when he accepts the devotee's request. So Prabhupada was always requesting, prayers are the request. And he was always praying to the Supreme Lord that I am only your instrument in your hands. So when we actually accept that, we are an instrument in Krishna's hands, then only we leave everything on him. Whether something good is happening to us, something bad is happening, we only pray to him. We don't leave him. Shivji also is actually, he shows here that how he's dependent on Krishna only. It's Krishna's mercy that he appeared before him in the Mohini form, and then he is actually deceiving him. That Shivji is totally captivated. He had heard about this form, but now he wanted to see it. And when he sees it, he's totally captivated. He's running here and there after that form. He's become mad. He leaves his wife. So when one becomes mad after Krishna and leaves everything, Krishna is very happy. That's the test. And that test happened. The gopis went through the same test. And that is the test. Prabhupada went for the same test. He went to America. At the age of 69, nobody can dare to come to America with empty-handed. Bare-handed he arrives in America. No, nothing, no belongings. Just a Bhagavatam. He's carrying Bhagavatam with him. Bhagavatam is everything that shows in itself then. He's carrying Krishna with him, that's Bhagavatam. And he comes to America, and then we all know what happened then. The miracle that nobody in the world can even imagine of that happened. In 10 years, he leaves behind the legacy of 108 temples and so many pure devotees of the Lord with full faith in Krishna. And then what happens? From 1977 till date, we have more than 950 temples all over the world. Look at the massive number we have increased to. And in Delhi itself, we have 18 temples, 18 big temples in Delhi, where every weekend, around about 20,000 to 30,000 people come for darshan. And on festival days, Janmashtami and Gaura Purnima, the number rises up to in lakhs. And so many arrangements have to be done. And pure devotees of the Lord, it's only because of their purification that these things are happening. And Prabhupada empowered them. And they always glorified Prabhupada. That is the Guru Parampara. Prabhupada disciples always glorify Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada always glorified Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Guru. Upstairs in the Prabhupada quarters, we have the desk of Prabhupada where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's picture is there right before his eyes. He never forgot his spiritual father. He always gave all the credit to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Even meeting his disciples, he said, my Guru Maharaj has arranged that you all must meet me and help me. He thanks his disciples for coming to help him because his Guru Maharaj has sent them. So it is the same way the legacy goes on. When my Guru Maharaj passed away recently on the 5th of May, and he was brought from Dehradun, we were with him and we brought him to the big temple east of Kailash, the Radha Parthasarathi temple. There were approximately 80,000 to 1 lakh people in the temple at that moment. From every nook and corner, people were there on the parapets, on the rooftops, every window, everywhere, the roads were blocked. We had to ask the help from the police to come and handle the crowd. Police came over to handle the crowd because the internal security guards could not help. They were of no help. People were literally, they were in so much pain and grief, and we had so many people around. And whole night the darshan were open, and we had round about a queue for 4 kilometers. People stand in the queue, were standing to have just a glimpse of him, to come into the temple, in the auditorium where the body was placed. A whole night the darshan was open till Mangalarti. From the evening 4 o'clock we reached temple till morning 4:30, 5 o'clock. The darshan were continuously going on. And there was a big queue. And when we took him to Vrindavan, again the same thing happened. The temple was crowded, over jam-packed. And outside the roads were jam-packed. With both the sides of the roads were queued up with people and people, because they wanted to have a glimpse of a pure devotee of the Lord. And that's the empowerment by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has empowered his disciples, that they have actually given us so much. And that's why I hear this temple is actually, earlier also I came 13 years back, the crowds have multiplied here. And they say now it's very difficult to handle the crowds here, and they have Janmashtami in 4 places here in Melbourne. So you see how this is happening. Because the pure devotees of Srila Prabhupada, they are into what? They are into the preaching and the book distribution mode. Because Srila Prabhupada said only 2 things is our business: distributing the granthas and preaching. That's all. That's all is our business. And that is why the pure devotees can make wonders in this world, in this material world where Krishna's Maya is working. It's working at the supersonic rate. We all know that. We feel very safe in this cocoon, sitting here in the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, because they are protecting us. They are actually giving us the right directions. Reading Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we understand, why did Shivji came to Krishna? Why did Krishna took the form of Mohini? How this happened? It's not easy for the outside world to understand this philosophy. It's very difficult. So Mohini form is actually the lusty form of Krishna, just for his few chosen devotees. It's not for everybody. He did not lure the demigods, but Shivji he lured. And it's the same Shivji who wanted to become a gopi, and he said, if you want to do ras with me, you have to become a gopi. And Shivji readily says, yes, yes, I am ready. And then Krishna says, fine, come along. And he was called Gopeshwar Mahadev. So Shivji is totally surrendered to Krishna. He's showing this, and Krishna is reciprocating with his dear devotee. Krishna loves to reciprocate with his dear devotees. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita it says, you give me your mind and intelligence and then fight, he tells to Arjuna. So that means, if you want to understand me, you give me your mind and intelligence. Don't use your intelligence. Don't overwork on your intelligence. You just work with my intelligence. And then you see what you are actually aspiring you will get. So the devotees always are aspiring to serve Krishna. They want to serve him all the time. So that is why they want Krishna prema. They want the love of Krishna. So they come to know about their original position. Our Savrupa, our real Savrupa is we are Krishna's servants. So that is how we understand this, that we have to serve Krishna all the time. And serving Krishna will be getting the reciprocation from Krishna. And he says he loves to serve his devotees. If devotee serves him, he serves his devotees. Arjuna is serving him and he's serving Arjuna. He's always there. He loves Prahlad. He appears for Prahlad. He has no binding. But the love, we are celebrating this month, the auspicious month of Kartik. So we are celebrating it where Yashoda tied him with a rope of love and devotion. So in this month it's easy for us. For devotees it's everyday Kartik. They just don't wait for Kartik, the month to come. Every day is Kartik for them. Every Mangal Aarti is actually, there is no option for Mangal Aarti for them. Every Mangal Aarti is a festival for them. They don't wait for Janamashtamis or Gaur Purnimas. Every day is a Gaur Purnima for them. Every day they have the same love for the Supreme Lord. But for neophytes, the new devotees, it is good that we host such big festivals to attract them. So they come out of their lusty desires and be with us and experience it at least for 1 month or 1 day for the Janmashtami festival. Or 1 month we ask them, if you chant, your 1 round will be equal to 1,000 rounds. So we invite them. We want them to taste the nectar. A little bit of nectar, if they taste it for 1 month, then hopefully the rest of the 11 months, they will be attracted back, come back again here. So for devotees, it is not that. For devotees, every day is Kartik. Mangalarti has no option for them. They have every day to celebrate the festivals. So this is for the devotees. And those who are surrendered, they are the devotees. And Krishna says, I give them the intelligence to come to me when I see they are totally engrossed in me, absorbed in me. Tesham stata yuktanam bhajantam priti purvakam. I give them the dadami buddhi yondagantam. I give them the intelligence to come to me. But what I see first is I test them. I test them whether they are totally surrendered or not, whether they remember me always or not. And he says, you cannot bluff me. I am sitting in your heart. I know everything. So you cannot bluff me. I am the Paramatma. So that is Krishna. It's very difficult to understand Krishna, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of these purports, by the mercy of Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita and the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, we can actually try to understand him. And here, in these chapters, these are very, very difficult chapters. These chapters are not easy, which we are reading. The canto is not easy, the 8th canto. It's very difficult to understand. So the difficulty will be given up, it will be overcome if we surrender and we are fully surrendered. If we are surrendered to our spiritual master, the instructions of the spiritual master, then we can easily understand this chapter. And we can understand why Krishna appeared in the Mohini form, how he bewildered his devotee, his most lovable devotee, that's the Lord Shiva. He's a Param Vaishnava, we know that. And how come everybody will say, oh, how come a Param Vaishnava get lured by lusty desires? So it is for us to understand whether we reach the topmost situation, in a topmost, we think, oh, we are very secure. Nobody is secure. Krishna's Maya is always at work. So we should be well prepared to actually be well prepared for the Maya may pounce upon us any moment. So even for a fraction of a second, we should not go out of the sight of Krishna. So going out of the sight of Krishna doesn't mean that we'll remain in the temple whole day. But it is that we don't, even for a moment, never think even, oh, I know everything. I can do it on my own. No, you cannot. You have to be in the association of devotees, like Rupa Goswami clearly mentions that. So, ado shraddha tado sadhu sang tada bhajan kriya. The real bhajan kriya starts only then, when you're in the association of devotees. Unless you are not situated there, your sinful life will be continued. It will happen. As I am a writer for the many books on Sikhism, Vaishnavism and Sikhism, Vaishnav teachings in Sikhism, then Death the Unstoppable, and then I have written Guru the Spiritual Father. They are all with the combination with the Gita, Bhagavatam and the Granth Sahib. So I was asked by my spiritual father to write these books long back. In 2007, that was my maiden trip, the first trip, because he wanted me to preach globally. And I came first time to Australia. It was the first international preaching trip, and that was to Australia. So I came to Sydney first, and Melbourne I came in 2009 and then 2010. And then after that, I never came to Melbourne. I think so once or twice more I came, that's all. But then I started preaching in Canada and America and Europe and Tokyo and the eastern side. So I was always preaching. I was engrossed in for the last so many years I have been. But when I came to Australia, that was my maiden trip for preaching, because I was taking the instructions of my spiritual master. I wanted to fulfill the desire of his. And he wanted, after going from here, he asked, I wrote the book, Vaishnava Teachings in Sikhism in 2007. And Jayapataka Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, was the first one to take the book all over the world. He said he wanted the copies, and then I gave him all the copies. In 2007, when the book came out, he asked me, my Guru Maharaj told him, and he called me up in the middle of the night, his servant, and I spoke to Maharaj, and he said, how many copies can you give? I said, as many as you want, Maharaj. And then I supplied him with like 50 to 100 copies, and then he next day only was flying to Hong Kong. And I had the opportunity and the great blessing from him that I could drive him and take him to the airport. I dropped him, I drove myself. And as my Prabhu was busy that day, and our Krishna Balaram were coming to the Punjabi Vivek temple, installation had to be done in 2 days' time, and he could not go with me to the airport. And then I went all alone to the airport, and then I requested Maharaj that I took a special permission from the airport manager to park it right in the VIP parking, just diplomat parking. I had to preach the airport manager, and he agreed, and he gave me the parking slip. I took the car there, and then Maharaj came, and then I told him, Maharaj, that's how I preached the airport manager, and you please, I'll drive you down. And then he said, okay, I'll go with you. And then I said, but there is one problem, that I don't have a driver, and I'm driving myself. And he said, okay, no problem. And he sat next to me. And then he said, just sitting, just as he sat, he said, where is the book? I handed the book in his hand. And he said, where is the meaning for Vaheguru? And then I was just telling him, he said, there's no index. I said, Maharaj, the book was written in a big haste. And he said, okay, okay. And I said, Maharaj, just turn this page. And I was looking into the book. He said, no, you look on the road. And you are my Sarthi today, he said. Those words still echo in my ears. And then we reached his disciples' home, and he said, I am going to take a shower and be back. I'll be taking prasadam, and you read the book to me. And imagine, I read the book nearly for half an hour to 1 hour to him. And then after that, I went to the airport with him, we dropped him there, and then I came home in the evening. So I was very fortunate to have his blessings. The second book then came out, Vaishnavism and Sikhism. I met Maharaj in Vrindavan. He had come to Vrindavan 2 years back. He was there in the Kartik month. And then again, I gave him the book. I said, how many copies, Maharaj, you want the book for the book now? And he again took copies, and now I have yet to meet him. I met him in Mayapur just a year back. And now last year I wrote 2 books from the pleasure of my Guru Maharaj, and this year I offered him Death the Unstoppable. And that His Holiness Radha Maharaj, he offered it to my Guru Maharaj I asked him to do it on my behalf, and he did it. So this is the blessing of the Vaishnava-acharyas we always linger for. So that is the association. Association is required if we want to actually enhance in bhakti. That's very important. And as it says, Rupa Goswami says, Ado Shraddha Tado Sadhu Sang Tada Bhajan Kriya Tata Anartha Nivriti. So when the sadhu sangha happens, then the bhajan kriya happens, and then the anarthas go away. Anarthas cannot leave you like on your own. You cannot fight with your anarthas. If somebody says, oh, I can fight with my anarthas, I can become a good human being on my own, this can never happen. Unless you are under the association, the shelter of the spiritual master or the Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas, then only this is feasible. So in the Gurbani even it says, Bina paga satsang na labije, bina satsang amala bharije jiyo. Without the association of satsang, being in satsang, you will be full of dirt. Bina satsang amala bharije jiyo. And bina paga satsang na labije. Unless you are very fortunate, you have to be very fortunate to reach into the satsang. Only this door opens only for the most fortunate souls. It does not open for everybody. So we are very fortunate that we are under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and we are under the shelter of our spiritual masters. So that is how it is. We will get our anarthas, they will leave us. So any question anybody has? We are just reaching 9. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for a very nice class. Here is saying that lusty desire. So does it signify the spiritual lusty desire or material lusty desire? Because if you look at when Lord comes as a Krishna, as a man, all the women are attracted towards him, towards the Lord, and which is perfectly fine, which is not illegal or immoral, because it's a spiritual attraction. Now, similarly, Lord has come in the form of woman. And whenever the Lord comes, Shiva comes to see the Lord he is attracted towards Lord, he comes and takes the association of the Lord Gopeshwar Mahadeva. Now, in this case also, now since Lord came as a woman, obviously out of natural attraction or spiritual attraction, now Lord Shiva has come to see the Lord now in the woman. So now to me, this lusty desire is more a spiritual desire, not a material desire. So that's what, like, if you can just
that
enlighten.
is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making clear for all of the devotees, yes. That Shivji is not a normal human being like us. Mm-hmm. He's not like us. We are thinking him like we think in our own little mind, oh, yeah. If any beautiful woman comes, I get lured by that. So Shivji is much above them. He could put to ashes the Kamadev.
Yeah.
And that means he is above all this. But then it's Krishna's wish. He's enticing him and he's taking him around. He's taking him around to show the sages even that how the lust, you will read in their head purports. We should not be impatient. More is yet to come. Where Prabhupada mentions that even the sages and the saints of big order should not be with a woman at any moment even. They should not feel that they are very secured. Even for a second, they should not be in the company of women. So it's vice versa. It goes vice versa. So it is that because Krishna is, actually it's his plan, it's a playful leela going on. Yeah. So we cannot take it as it's the extreme, that lusty desire which we have. Our lusty desires are not that pious. So that is there, it's Krishna's wish. He wants to play this game. He wants to, he's Leela Purushottam. He's always into a Leela. This Kartik month, you can read his many Leelas he performed. Today there is another, I forgot, that's Radha Kunda parents there. So that's another Leela of his. There is the Leela, he had the Rasa Leela, Govardhan Leela, the Damodar Leela, killing of Narkasur, marrying the 16,100 wives. Bhishma Panchak happened where he was asking Bhishma Dev to speak out. So these many pastimes he did all in this pious month, auspicious month of Kartik. So he's Leela Purushottam. So this is another Leela. So this is not a material lust. He is actually exhibiting his that he's empowered. He can actually make Shivji run around. So it's for everybody, those who are Shiv Bhaktas and think, oh, he's the supreme. He's making aware, this Leela is making them aware that who is supreme? Even he is running after Vishnu. He's running after Krishna. Krishna can entice him. Krishna is all powerful.
Yeah.
And Shivji, when he comes to know, even he's humble. He doesn't say that, oh, why did you do this to me and got angry or something like that. Never that happened. He actually agrees, to his pastime. So even if a woman entices a man and she does not satisfy him, so the man gets agitated. Here Vishnu does not satisfy Krishna and he's not getting agitated. So that's the difference. Haribol.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for
Hare
the nice
Krishna.
class. Mataji, we hear in lectures that once our anarthas such as lust and anger, they are gone, we can become closer to Lord Krishna. But we see in pastimes such as like this, Lord Shiva, he is like the Param Vaishnava as you mentioned, he's like the topmost devotee, and still he got bewildered, and we understand that this is for our purification. But still we lose the hope that one day we will also be above these anarthas. So how do we make ourselves understand?
We just follow, that's why I said, Guru is very important, just follow the instructions of the Vaishnava-acharyas and the spiritual master, that's all. We just have to do this and everything will fall in place. We'll understand every bit of it, we will understand everything, we will be, if we are absorbed in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And for us, those who are not initiated, as we enter, Srila Prabhupada is the eminent Shiksha Guru for us. He's the instructing master. So we just follow his purpose, follow him, start chanting, and then be in the association of devotees. That is why I was stressing that we have to be in the association of devotees all the time to be protected from lust, anger and greed. Unless we keep, that keeps a check on our lust, anger and greed. So that's very important. That's a check on us. This tilak is a check on us. Carrying the bead bag is a check on us. These are all checks on us. So one is very fortunate that they, if they try to surrender, so that is, and they apply the tilak every day, they carry their bead bags with them, they chant the 16 rounds very nicely, and the whole day whenever they get chance, they're reading or chanting, and they take services, that's most important. So they're absorbed in Krishna consciousness throughout. So there is no time for lust, anger and greed then. The greed won't penetrate into you, lust will never come when you are in the association of devotees, you understand. These are all the gates to hell, because the devotees are there with you and they're reminding you. If you fall down a bit even, and you get absorbed in material world a little bit even, they drag you here. And here, we read in this purport here in the translation, where Krishna drags in the Mohini form, he drags Shiva to all the sages to see that who is the greatest. That he in the Mohini form can entice even the greatest Vaishnava. So that is for us to understand. Haribol.
Thank you.
So we end the session here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Mahapurana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Bhagwan ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. God Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. I don't know, many of you maybe it's the time, the introduction, I don't know, anybody knows my name even. I'm Radhika Kripa from Delhi, and I hope I should introduce myself now before you all leave. I'm a preacher, international preacher on the orders of my Guru Maharaj. I started preaching internationally way back in 2007, and I'm a writer of, as I said, 6 books, and I go to Pakistan for preaching as well on the orders of Guru Maharaj. I've been twice there, preached there. And now since COVID times, I'm an online preacher also. And my Guru Maharaj gave the orders for me to do the Bhagavatam marathon for the last 4 years. I've been into the marathon. This is the 5th year we entered the Bhagavatam marathon. Since 2020, we are into the marathon. So he ordered me when I was doing online preaching, so I had a lot of people, a big community following me. And Guru Maharaj said, I want you to do the book distribution with your group. And so we did it. The first year we did 425 Bhagavatam sets. He gave me a target of 1,000 Bhagavatam sets in one go. But we could make 425. The next year we did 626. The 2022 we did 525. Last year, 2024, we did 565 Bhagavatam sets. And this year we did 800 Bhagavatam sets. It was our Guru Maharaj's 80th Vyasa Puja, so we wanted to go to 800. And I wanted to please him also for the target he had given me, 1,000. So we could reach 800. And I seek your blessings, all of you bless us. The next year our target is 1,008 Bhagavatam sets. So just bless us. And we have done nearly today only I got the message, when I go back, our Bhagavad Gita marathon starts. So Mohan Rupa Prabhuji just sent me a message in the morning to be prepared for your Bhagavad Gita marathon now. So we have done in the previous 4 years, I have done nearly 65,000 to 70,000 Bhagavad Gitas as well. So we planned, last year we did 20,500 Bhagavad Gitas online. So this year again, Krishna's blessings and Guru Maharaj's blessings, we'll beat our record. Guru Maharaj always said you have to beat your own records all the time. Every year you should beat your records. So that is actually I wanted to tell you this. The instructions of the spiritual master are very important. When we try to follow them, it's not we are doing anything. It's all his blessings. I know I have no capability at all. He only actually asked me to do this and I did it. That's all. So it's he empowers. So when a spiritual master gives you an instruction, he empowers you also. So that's how. And with his blessings, you must have heard about the Rohini temple that opened recently in April. And my Prabhuji, both of us are giving honorary service to ISKCON for the last 25 years. So he's an architect and an interior designer. And he designed that temple totally. It's been designed every nook and corner by him. He's designed last 6 temples in Delhi. And again, he's working at 2 projects which Guru Maharaj had given him. So the one more temple coming up in Delhi. And this, again, the next year, Ram Navami, another temple is opening up in Gurgaon in New Delhi, near Delhi. So there are 2 temples in Gurgaon, both designed by my Prabhuji with Guru Maharaj mercy. And in Faridabad he designed it, Bahadurgarh he designed it. And the Rohini one is the most beautiful. Even Bibi Govind Maharaj was here in Sydney. I don't know he made it to Melbourne or not. But he was there and he was there at the opening also. So Bibi Govind Maharaj said that that is the most beautiful temple in whole ISKCON. And Radhanath Maharaj was there recently on Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja and he came to Rohini, we invited him. And he also said, it's on my Instagram where he says, this is the most beautiful temple, a masterpiece of art in ISKCON. So all of you, those who go to Delhi or make a visit to Vrindavan, those who go, please go to Delhi and visit these temples. Visit the Rohini temple that opened up on this Rama Navami this year. So please go and see that temple. It's a very beautiful temple and very beautiful deities are there. We have Panch Tattva. That is the Guru Maharaj said that's the only temple after Mayapur in North India that has Panch Tattva. So we have Panch Tattva, we have Radharani and Krishna with Lalita and Vishakha, and then we have full Ram Darbar and Prabhupada deities there. So we have 14 deities in all there. So please do visit, and it's a huge temple with 200,000 square feet area, and the temple hall is itself 16,000 square feet. So it's a very huge and it's a masterpiece. Just please go and visit that. You can Google it online, even on YouTube, and watch it. It's Rohini temple. Hare Krishna.